Hey guys, how's it going? It is the 15th of February 2019, and wow, I've been getting pretty bored lately of a lot of different things. It's kind of weird. Um, not so much the Run8 side of things, although it has played a little bit into. There's kind of a give and take that's happening right now. Um, Basically, my son, he's actually he's upstairs right now. Usually, I get him on a Friday. It's really an interesting dynamic here now, because he gets medication or whatever, and yeah, I'll spend some time with his mom. Then he'll spend time with me on times that I would normally not see him. So it's kind of cool, but at the same time, it's also not so much. But the time that I have by myself, I find with YouTube, even though I do have access to TV here, something I didn't have at the old place, I find that I do have some extra time on my hands now because as far as YouTube, I get bored of watching YouTube. I don't watch as much as I used to. I don't seem as interested in all the various. I think I'm burnt out of the various real world stuff that's on there that I used to follow. But anyways, he'll be down again shortly. So I had a little bit of time, and I thought I would discuss a topic that I haven't brought up for a while, and that is the talk about. I don't know if I ever talked about it or if I ever officially said no, I wasn't going to do it, but it's been brought to my attention a couple of times that people are curious if I was doing RTS version 2. It's certainly in the banner, and the reason why I saw this today and I kind of thought about it a little bit was because it's still in the banner on my the forums, the RTS forums, which is practically dead. Although they have been kind of resurged by Scott's server, which I'm glad. I'm glad they're getting a use. It's certainly something that I want any community who wants to try to get people together to host servers or sessions to use. I got no problem with that whatsoever. And in fact, I encourage it. Since I've been here with the internet issues, although the internet issues kind of weird, I haven't been as bad as they were. It's really strange, but still not, I would say, 100% dependable, especially in a multiplayer environment on a big server. But it's, you know, with what's happening, you know, on Scott's side of things. I mean, I would say there's more pros than cons, but it's certainly been enjoyable. Unfortunately, I haven't been, because my son's recovering from some illness right now. We haven't been able to. I haven't been able to really push certain nights and do exactly what I want to do this week, which is okay. That'll come in time. But anyways, getting back on the topic of RTS, what happened was I posted, or I changed the blurb a little bit just to update what the forum had actually was becoming, or the wikia, and I updated the information as to what was happening as far as you know, when I dropped or stopped hosting sessions on a regular basis. I didn't mention anything about the Southwest server. That was more of my own participation in another server. And as I said before, the reason why I'm not on Southwest server right now has nothing to do with the server. I think it's a great server. I highly recommend it, as I've said before. But because of the internet issues, I'm not putting a session at risk. If it's just Scott and I, or Scott and a few people, it's much more easier to recover when you have 10 people on and you end up screwing up a train or dropping out when you're in the middle of, you know, doing whatever. It's just too much. So I decided that it's better that I not be there. It was just a pain in the you know what waiting to happen. So anyways, let me just get right to the punch of the what was on my mind. The case for version 2 of RTS. I've been thinking about this a little bit more. I haven't really had the time or the interest or the desire yet, even though we are now into February. Like I said, there's a lot of things going on right now, as usual. I really haven't unpacked a lot of those things. I still have a lot here, but I am settled for certain. I'm settled. I'm very comfortable. So that's not what's holding me back. If I'm bored at night when I could be doing things, then obviously programming can be up there if it was really that important, and it hasn't been. The case for version 2, though, kind of comes into play because I'm curious as to, there was kind of a way, you know, I never wanted to program something that was going to be a waste of my time. And that's always been the fear, especially when version 3 was announced. Now, I know version 3 is still in development. It could pop up tomorrow, quite frankly. I mean, TSCAD could pop up tomorrow too. That was kind of interesting because I was looking at the community page, which really hasn't changed much, but you know, TSCAD's there. I'm like, okay, whatever, but you know, I don't want to knock TSCAD or anything, but I'm sure they're beta testing or doing something, or you know, whatever else is going on. And I'm sure version 3's beta testing or doing whatever else is going on. That's fine. You know, whatever everybody's got their own reasons, issues, real life, just like I do. For me, my biggest thing is interest in programming. Am I bored enough that I really want to just create something? Because I certainly enjoy the benefits when I can put my mind to it and program something and get something done. I certainly enjoyed the benefits of RTS version 1 beta, and it would take me actually a lot less work if I was to take some baby steps. It would take me a lot less work to get version 2 of RTS working than it would, say, doing that dispatcher, RTS dispatcher that I'm talking about. Now, am I capable of doing the RTS dispatcher? Absolutely. I have no doubt in my mind. I'm even capable of going further into the RTS freight yard manager type environment, which I also have. I'm very confident in that as well. Even if it's just single player AI, I don't care. Anything that's 2D or 2D based, I am completely confident. It's not something that's out of my ability. But RTS, as it is right now, I've already got the program there. It's a little bit of spaghetti code, mind you, but there is some work, there's some readjusting that I wanted to do based on some of the various new car types that have been added. Originally, it was built when there was less than 26 types. And of course, things constantly expanded to the point where it got beyond 26. And the reason why I say 26 is the number of letters in the alphabet. That's important because it's coded that way. I used one letter for the car type, whereas, you know, now obviously there's more than 26 types. So I'd have to do some adjustment in that. Now, the reason why I've always been reluctant to do it is because I've always been, like I said, I've been a big fan of the Southwest server type environment. It's pretty much based on what RTS server was. And having trains running on a big system with AI, I found that once AI came in and it couldn't use those trains to respond, well, what was the point of doing it? Especially when Run8 version 2 was capable of generating their own trains. The thing that I'm getting at, though, is as even though it's capable of doing a lot, its biggest capability is the tagging of the industries. What it's really difficult, what its weakness is, I find, is this how it spawns and the actual makeup of the trains. I'm not a big fan of how they make up the trains in those things. I'm not a big fan of, in fact, I'm not a big fan of the engine selection. I'd like to see a little bit more, uniqueness in some of the engines. Let's say, like if you're going to have NS, say an NS engine show up on a train, and you click that little button for NS to show up, and just because it has NS, all of a sudden it has just as equal the chance of any other engine. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of having the possibility of an NS engine. If you know what I mean, it should be more unique, especially when they're talking about. And I don't have these units, but they have these classic units or whatever the hell you call those things. I forget, the heritage units, but. And there's a lot of, and that's the other thing too. There's a lot of stuff out there that I just really don't have or have no interest in purchasing. For me, Run8's got a lot more to get me to spend money out of my wallet. Version 3 might entice me. Version 3 may not entice me too. If version 3 isn't if version 3 isn't going to get my interest, then I may just stick with version 2. That's where I say there's going to be a divide. Much more than between version 1 and 2. I see a big divide coming between version 2 and 3 if version 3 ever gets here. It's going to be ready when it's ready. And, it's been great that Brad communicated about, I don't know what the hell it was. Has it been about a year by now? Man, time flies by. And bitching and complaining doesn't really do much when time flies by, because your whole life goes by, and if you're just bitching and complaining, well, you're not doing too much yourself. So I got to look in the mirror with that. But I'm in a comfortable situation. Yeah, I have some more challenges that I have to take care of, with my son and all that. But those things are going to, come and go. But I'm starting to look at the time in between, and if I can just get myself into something and get excited. But what I propose to the community and those that are really interested is, I want to know what I can possibly help do, or what you're looking for. So in other words, if I was to get into RTS 2 again, what is it that, if you recall or remember RTS 1 or was around for RTS 1, what is it that I can improve, or something that you would be really interested in seeing in RTS 2? But I'll push that even further. In a 2D environment, whether it be data-driven like RTS is, or even 2D graphics driven, such as dispatching, freight forwarding, even maybe a 2D map type thing like a freight yard manager, or some type of yard display. What are some of the things that you would love to see in a some type of train simulation? And I'm not going to go into the 3D side. That's way above my capabilities, and right now I don't even have the motivation to get into the 2D side of things. I barely have the motivation to even touch RTS code because I know there's a lot of spaghetti work that I would have to deal with. So that's something I pose to you guys, and I don't know if I'll post a message in the next few minutes, or if my son's going to come down. I'm not going to worry about it. But that's what I pose to the community, or whatever community's left. What is it that you want to see? Because for me, yeah, okay, I can make money, and sure, I want to make money on the side. Make it worth it a little bit this time. Although RTS 2 would not be for money, I would do that for free. That's nothing. I wouldn't even sell RTS 2, quite frankly. It's not worth it. It's not worth time or effort to even charge for something like that. It's I'm quite happy to have something that is just free and available for the community, because the demand for something like that is going to be small regardless. No, anything that goes like RTS Dispatcher or RTS Freight Yard Manager type thing, not Freight Yard Manager, but RTS Yard Master, I think I was calling it, I don't know. Something like that, yes, that's something I would like to make some money on the side, because it would be a much bigger project. A project I'm capable of doing, I just don't have the motivation, and money no longer motivates me. At least not right now, it doesn't, because I'm in a comfort zone. And when I'm in comfort zones, and this new move has made me quite comfortable, trying to find that motivation is a little bit difficult. And honestly, if I'm to be totally honest, I just wish Run8 would either, start teasing us and get us excited about version 3, or I wish something else had come along and just kick the crap out of it. Okay. And I don't wish harm on that, but competition's good, and there is no competition. I've said this before. There's no competition. I wish I had the desire and skill to do 3D programming, because I may never have the physics of Run8. Physics would not be my #1 priority, I can tell you that. However, operations and AI and having trains, a railroad operate like a railroad should, as real as it gets, quote unquote, I think I can do a lot better. Not in physics, but actually having an operating railroad that a single player can get into and not have to worry about people, not have to worry about perfect internet, not have to worry about, and if they haven't, and if I can get the multiplayer to work, great. I mean, multiplayer, I've had a lot of fun with multiplayer, but I'm just getting at a time right now where I'm just trying to find something to latch onto, and there's no urgency for me to put stuff away or to go through stuff because I'm at a deadline to move or anything like that. I could be here for the rest of my life, quite frankly, and that's a strong possibility, actually, that I'll be here for the rest of my life. This could be it. I mean, obviously, this is going to be my son's one day, this whole house. I would assume, anyways, but, I mean, my ex is the one who owns the house, so, I mean, she could change her mind and want to go someplace else or move or whatever, but I can't see her wanting to sell this place either. She's lived here all her life, too. Why would she want to move? And, for me, I'm very comfortable. I have no desire to go anywhere. And, this is the, you know, even after my son's, you know, I'm sure he, you know, the day he is ready to move out or whatever, start a family of his own, start a life of his own or whatever. Yeah, I just don't see myself moving. This is so. This is. I'm in no rush to do anything here, but what I am interested in doing, what I'm starting to get pushed, or I'm starting to push myself more and more, at least realizing in my brain, is how bored I get in between when I have those times when, you know, when, I mean, even this weekend he can't do, my son can't do too much, so we're watching YouTube and playing video games. I'd love to be going out, but he's sore as hell right now. So, anyways, that's somebody called me. So that's it for now. I'll talk to you later.